Denver has the best player on the planet, the best offense in the league, and a defense that just got them bounced. So how do they build this roster to win another title before Jokic's prime slips away? The answer is about fixing one end of the floor without blowing up a contender. Let me lay out the realistic scenarios and the one I'd run. Here's the plan. 3 realistic paths. Scenario A, run it back and add a cheap defender. Scenario B, trade young pieces for a proven defender. Scenario C, trim salary to ease the tax. For each, the cost, the payoff, and the risk. Then my verdict. The roster facts are verified. The scenarios are my projections. Let's build. This is Game is Culture. Quick thing before we build. If you like roster construction with real cap and trade logic, subscribe. It's free and it helps a ton. Now, Scenario A. Scenario A, run it back, add a defender. The cleanest path. Keep the core, pay the tax, get a healthy Aaron Gordon back, and use the cheap exception on a 3-and-D wing. The bet is simple. Denver was a top contender whose defense cratered partly because Gordon missed half the year. Get him healthy, add one more proven stopper, and let the young wings keep growing. You don't touch a championship core, you just patch the one hole on a budget. What it gets them is the highest floor and a real title shot if the health and the cheap defender deliver. The cost is the enormous repeater tax and the risk that a $5.5 million signing isn't enough to fix a 21st ranked defense. Sometimes a bargain veteran moves the needle. Sometimes the hole is too big for the mini exception. That's the gamble of running it back with limited tools. And the urgency behind all of this is one number, Jokic's age. He's in the absolute prime of an all-time great career, and those windows close faster than anyone ever expects. A team with the best player on the planet does not get to take a gap year to save money or develop slowly. Every single season is a title or bust opportunity you can't get back. That pressure is exactly why the aggressive fix-it-now paths make more sense for Denver than patient ones ever could. Scenario B, trade for a defender. The aggressive path, and maybe the most logical. Denver's only real ammunition is its cheap young talent, Peyton Watson, Christian Braun, Julian Strawther, plus a pick or two. Package some of that for a proven starting caliber wing defender, a player good enough to actually fix a 21st ranked defense, not just patch it. It costs you future upside and depth, but it directly addresses the exact weakness that ended their season. The trade is the real fix. The cost is real though. Those young players are cheap, which is exactly what keeps a supermax team viable. So trading them raises future costs and thins the bench. And Peyton Watson in particular has real two-way upside, the kind of player you hate to give away. So Denver has to weigh a proven defensive upgrade now against the young talent that keeps them affordable later. With Jokic's clock ticking, now usually wins that argument. Scenario C, trim the tax. The cautious path. Faced with a brutal, escalating repeater tax, Denver could move a salary to duck a penalty line, accept a slightly lower ceiling, and ease the financial pain. The upside is fiscal sanity and a little flexibility. The downside is obvious. You'd be voluntarily getting worse during the prime of the best player in the world, which is close to basketball malpractice. For most teams, this is reasonable. For a Jokic team, it's hard to justify. And the repeater tax is the real villain lurking behind Scenario C. Because Denver has been over the tax line for years, their penalties multiply. Every dollar over costs far more than it would for a first-time offender. That's a genuine financial strain, and it's why some voices around the team will push hard to trim. But getting cheaper to dodge a tax while wasting prime Jokic years is the kind of short-term thinking that gets contenders second-guessed for a decade. The bill is just the cost of greatness. Quick halftime note. If you want the verdict on every team's best path, subscribe. It's free. Now let's put the 3 side by side. Stack them up. Scenario A, run it back, cheapest in assets and keeps everyone, but the fix might be too small. Scenario B, trade for a defender, actually solves the problem, but costs cheap youth and future flexibility. Scenario C, trim, eases the bill, but makes a title team worse. The honest read, A and B both chase the ring, and C protects the wallet at the cost of the window. With Jokic, the window wins. Put it on a title odds scale. Running it back with a healthy Gordon and a cheap defender keeps Denver a clear contender. Trading youth for a proven stopper nudges that ceiling higher by truly fixing the defense. Trimming the tax actively lowers it. The point is plain. Doing nothing or getting cheaper wastes a Jokic year, while spending assets to fix the defense is the move that actually raises the trophy odds. The verdict. My call? A blend of A and B. Run it back, but use the young pieces to trade for a real wing defender, not just a minimum signing. Get Gordon healthy, keep Jokic and Murray, and spend your one trade chip, the cheap youth, on the exact thing that lost you the series. You do not trim salary and get worse while the best player alive is in his prime. You pay the bill, you fix the defense, and you chase the title now. And the sequence is clear. This summer, get Gordon right, add a cheap 3-and-D wing with the exception, and explore trading a young piece for a proven defender. Through the season, integrate the new defense and keep developing Watson and Braun behind it. Then in the playoffs, the only place this offseason is judged. Fix the stops, keep the offense, and let the best player alive do the rest. Where could I be wrong? If the repeater tax genuinely scares ownership, Scenario C's salary trim becomes the mandate, and there are real business reasons to fear the bill. And if Denver believes a healthy Gordon alone restores the defense, they'll just run it back cheaply. But with the best player in the world in his prime and a clearly fixable flaw, spending assets to fix it is the highest expected outcome, every time. The teams that regret their decisions are almost always the ones who got cautious when they should have pushed their chips in. And Denver, with the best player alive on their roster, is firmly and clearly in push your chips in territory right now. So that's the full picture for Denver. Run it back with a cheap defender, trade youth for a real one, or trim the tax. 3 real paths for a contender with the best player alive and one fixable flaw. Which one would you run? That wraps the Nuggets. Drop your build below. And we are so close to 1,000 subs, so subscribe to stay up to date.